Hi, you're listening to the Tea and Trails podcast with Gary and Eddie. This is Pete. I'm on the climb up Ullock Pike on my way up to Skiddaw on the Tea and Trails Ultra route. It's a bit windy out, but hashtag always shorts weather. Oh, those legs. So much flesh from bottom to top. I couldn't keep my eyes off them. Have a great day, everyone. Breathe and believe.
Hello and welcome to episode 115 of the Tea and Trails podcast. Thanks for the intro, Pete. Incredible views. No leg shots though, Pete. Very disappointing. It's a shame that the camera was pointing away. But the Tea and Trails Ultra route doesn't disappoint though. My goodness me, those views. Please keep those intros coming. Email them to hello@teaandtrails.com. And sorry if you're waiting patiently for your intro to be played. Eddie, the cupboards are bulging.
We love a bulge.
Big hugs to all our patrons and everyone who has joined Patreon over the last week. For the price of a cuppa, you could get a gel. How much is a gel these days? £3, depending on the brand.
Oh, don't take those gels willy-nilly. Time them to perfection.
I went to Pret a Manger on the way back from the lakes. I had a mac and cheese, some kind of cinnamon Danish.
This Pret mac and cheese, dirty, but so
it was
good.
incredible. And a decaf flat white.
£11.
16 quid. No.
16!
So for the price of a cuppa, you can help keep the lights hot and the mics on. We've got some Patreon discount code.
You got some business. Go on, you've been hustling at those Patreon. I tell you what, you guys, you are so lucky to have Gary in your corner, because if Gary wasn't here, what would you get for Patreon if it was just Eddie? I'd just be like, I'll just send you guys a child. Gary never stops 24/7. He's hustling to get you guys a little discount.
Grafton. But don't stop what you're doing. Don't scramble for a pen and paper. All the codes and the links will be over at teaandtrails.com in the show notes or over at Patreon. But first up is, yes, Centurion Running Store. They are now offering 12% discount to our patrons, and all of our listeners will receive 10% off over at centurionrunning.com. There are some terms and conditions. I think it's on full price items, not sale items, but it's all clear over there. Talk Nutrition offering our listeners 10% off orders over at talkfitness.co.uk, and Life Jacket Skin Protection are offering 15% off for our patrons and 10% off for first orders. That is a timely Patreon perk because the sun is out this week.
Do you want some huge news from Scotland?
Give it to me.
I just ran in a t-shirt. I went out in my sweater vest and as I was running and I realised we were recording in 15 minutes and I was going to need to drop into zone 3, I thought, I think everybody's ready for my arms.
Well, last week it would have been waterproofs, was it? And this week, vests.
It's incredible. And also because it's April, that first step outside in the morning, you could almost wear gloves. A little bit chilly. Then the minute I'm 15 minutes in and the sweat begins, oh, God.
Well, I appreciate those guys, Life Jacket Skin Protection, for connecting with us because, I've got a lakes trip on Thursday. Forecast is scorchio, so I'll be smothering everything in their sun cream
all
gel.
The bulges.
And don't forget, if you want a snood or a bubble hat, then you need to add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies.
Thanks to X-Miles, Precision Fuel and Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK, Shocks and Protein Rebel for sponsoring this week's show. X-Miles is a family-owned independent endurance sports retailer that provides nutritional goods, apparel and accessories to help athletes perform and recover at their best. X-Miles offers a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and their team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners, and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals, whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started. X-Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need to succeed. Use the code CAPSLOCK DTRAILS10 for 10% off over at xmiles.co.uk. This is outrageous, Gary. Some of you haven't entered the Tea and Trails Ultra. I was planning our tent situation on my run the other day. I think I'm going to bring the big blue tent, Gaza, and you can sleep in one side and I can sleep in the other side. And then we can have the rehearsal space in the middle. People will walk past the tent and go, "What's that singing? Why is that grown man crying? Get down!" Anyway, entertainment, camping, a 50k, 35k run. What is there more to love? Pop over to www.tandtrailsultra.com. Something's going on down at Aria Towers. Not this week because it's Northern Traverse. It's all quiet. Keep your eyes open because there's going to be some Easter Bunny deals going on there.
And I'm very grateful to Ugogo Projects for producing the Tea and Trails cap. Pop over to Ugogo Projects if you would like one. Don't forget, patrons can receive 20% off. And I'm pretty sure, got fingers crossed, everything is crossed, it's first bucket cap outing to this Thursday. Yeah, summer. Dare I say it?
Oh no, you're going way too early. You have gone
Summer is
so
coming.
early. You're that friend that when you go into the bar and they go shots, 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 and you go, "Oh, it's only 6:30, Gary. Are you sure?"
It's coming. I promise. I've got 2 questions, Eddie.
Oh gosh. Okay. No, I won't. And yes, I have.
2 questions. Are you a heat champ? And how's your ring?
I tell you what, Gary, my ring says you're halfway to your activity goal. Great progress. Stop judging me. My ring was so disappointed with me over the weekend. Sleep. You need to sleep. I said, I don't have time to sleep. I wish I could talk to my ring and tell it what I was actually doing because it gets so work. Oh, I'm just confirming my housework. I love the way that it tells me I've burned off 100 calories getting the kids to school doing housework. I reckon it's 300 calories. The ring doesn't go into the volume of the screeching as I go, "Get in the car. If you don't get in the car now." My ring it's okay. We're just steady. We're just consistent. We're going steady this week. My heat, 89%, Gary. It's just not going. There's a reason why. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. So I absolutely smashed myself last week, Gary. Oh my God, what a week to be alive it was. You left you dangling last week because I didn't tell you what I was doing because I was going on a surprise trip. It was, well, when this goes out, it will be Debbie's birthday. Debbie Martin Consani, friend of the show. Hey. She is the big old 50. Can you believe it? She doesn't look a day over 21. Anyway, Wild Heart Runners were organising a social run from Glencoe along the West Highland Way.
I saw some pics. Looks ace.
Pictures lie. And so Debs didn't know that I was coming to run with her. Lucky Debs. So that's why I didn't say it on the podcast. So Karen, almost the other half of Wild Heart Runners, gave it away because in the morning she sent, we send each other our ring scores because it makes us laugh so much. She sent us on our little Facebook group, WhatsApp group, her ring score saying, "Oh no, look at this. Anyway, see you girls later." And then Debs was like, "What? What do you mean? See you later?" And then Karen to me without Debs in was going, "Oh no." Anyway, so I knew I was going to go and do that. So I thought it would be a good idea to absolutely smash my legs before that. And then I thought it would be great training. And then 5 hours, like really social run. I won't be worried about I can just go and just really easy jog along because my legs will be.
See, I'd save myself, Eddie.
No, no, I prefer doing it the other way. I'm not worried about not being able to, I just then be just really dig a hole. I love that sort of. So I absolutely smashed myself. A smorgasbord of workout. I didn't really do it on purpose. I just felt really good last week. Bryn was here. So we shared the parenting load. So unusually for me, got in 2 workouts. And I realised last week, I thought I've banged on enough about my heat training. I shared my workouts for a little while and you guys go crazy for them and then you steal them and then you pretend that they're yours. So I thought I would share a couple of my workouts from last week. I plan my workout and then I change it once I start doing it because I go, "Oh no, I don't like this. This is way too hard." So last week I did for my, I did them both on the treadmill because I can't remember why, but there was a reason. I think it's mainly because if I've got an hour, I can absolutely blitz myself and just hold a really high heart rate. There's no, I literally can just.
If you want to extend that heat training too, that's one of the protocols.
Yeah, so I wore like Toby told me, I wore my core set. So I think the reason my heat adaptation sits pretty level on my core app is because I don't wear it all the time. I only wear it when I'm heat training because I can't be bothered, basically. So I did 6 by 4 minutes, 2 at 10%, 2 at 8%, 2 at 5%, increasing the pace, obviously, as the percentage went down, but also increasing the pace every 4 minutes. So I sort of like teased my brain by going, right, the first 4 minutes of that 10%, you can be comfortable. Then the second 4 minutes, you've got to be able to go faster. And then the last minute of each of the 2 4 minutes, you go for it. Between each 2 4 minutes, I had 1 minute. And then between each 2 little block, I had 2 minutes. Maybe the last one I had about 3 minutes because I was like, oh, I just need to answer this WhatsApp. But I loved it. Oh my gosh, that was hot. That was great. I did that. That was almost 2 and a bit thousand feet of climbing as well.
Is that when we had a chat? Because you had about 10 layers on.
No, that was just an easy jog, that one. I couldn't have chatted to you in that one. So I didn't have, no layers. No layers for workouts. No layers for workouts. The only time I put layers for workout is my Monday when I do my power strides. Once a week, I do 6 to 8 times 20 to 30 seconds as hard as I can uphill on my treadmill. And I keep my top layers on for that because it's so short and that gets my heart rate up really high. That takes about 20 minutes. And then I go into 3 miles heat training jog after that. That's my Monday. Oh, what a joy Monday is. Anyway, and then my second session was, I did this again at 5% because I was on the treadmill. I don't like running flat on the treadmill. It feels like my hamstrings. And I'm absolutely sure the calibration of my treadmill changes every time.
Yeah.
8-minute mile on my treadmill, Gary, I am sprinting.
Feels like it, doesn't it? Yeah.
It just is so fast. And then when I'm out on the road, I'm like, this is not. And a 9-minute mile when I'm heat training, and yet I put my heat suit on last night and went out, and a 9-minute mile on the road was like relatively comfortable. So I'm like, how does this calibrate? Anyway.
I had a bit of a scare the other week on the treadmill. I just thought, this is way too fast. I can't do this.
You're like, don't touch it. Can I touch it? I can't get up.
And everything bounces when it's flat. And I've got it moving at speed. And my phone's going everywhere. My water bottles are going everywhere.
Don't like it. I can't do it. So I'm always at a percent. Even when I'm jogging at just like a really slow jog at 0%, I feel like I'm falling off the front of it. I do not like it. Anyway, so all of this. So then my next one, 6 6 5 5 4 4 3 3 2 2. I didn't do the ones because I think I ran out of time, and also I was getting scared of the speed I was getting at 5%. Increasing pace. And the hardest minutes of that workout is those 3 minutes. Oh, those 3 minutes right in the middle. 6 and 5, they seem quite long. They're just a drag. You're like, just get these done. 4, you're so happy you're not doing 6 minutes anymore. But 3 minutes, because 3 minutes, you're like, I've got to push the pace a little bit. I've got to get out level 3 now. I'm going in zone 4. And you get to 90 seconds and you think, oh my God, I'm only halfway. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Hold the
different. I don't mind it. Once I've done the 4s, it's over for me in my head.
Isn't it funny? And then I ghost myself all the way through going, this will be the last one, you don't need to do another one. Oh, this will be the last one. Okay, so keep going. My gosh, that hurt. And then, after that one, I did put my heat suit on and did 15 minutes 20 minutes at a pretty steady pace. After that, I then had to go to a school concert, Gary, and put jeans on and a polo neck. What was I thinking?
Excellent.
And I sat while the bagpipes were being played, cradling my precision full hydration bottle, drinking electrolyte with like this protein ball you can buy from M&S Food. And I was like looking around going, I think I'm the only parent in here. Going,
pretty sure you were, yeah.
Rocking back and forth going, still sweating a bit. Oh my God. And I was really happy that I got 2 workouts in, and also that both the workouts I was able to push rather than hang on, which is often the case. The rest of the week was just like easy miles, but dog miles, love it. And then, drove up to Glencoe to meet Debs, which was a treat for me because recently my runs to go meet friends have been 800 hours away. Yeah. So Glencoe isn't too far. Unfortunately, the lovely sun we had all week did not materialise in our run. So we started off, and they have done amazing things, Debs and Karen with Wild Heart Runners. There were over 100 people there.
Wow.
We're not talking about a sort of like local, everybody had driven one guy was like, like, I got up at 3 to get there to run on the West Highland Way. And I am ashamed to admit I've never run that part of the West Highland Way. It was lovely. So we ran, chat. I had bought Debs a helium balloon with 50, which she refused to wear on the run, which I thought was quite rude because Bryn was up at 6 trying to get the helium into the balloon.
Did she inhale it?
We're not silly, Gary. We're not 8-year-old.
Oh, my goodness me. You didn't.
So we were busy putting that in the car. So the run started and we were already like 10 minutes behind. So it was lovely. I was like, Debs, it's like you and I just going for a run here. Off we trotted. It's a little bit drizzly. Had my windproof on and my gloves and my leggings. Yeah. Debs in shorts. No, she's brave. She's proper Scottish. And off we go. Off we trot. Lovely trail up the Devil Staircase. Stomp, chat. So much chat, so much laughing. Snacking away. Get over the top. Lovely running down to Kinlochleven. Got down there and people were beginning to come back, turn around because we were going to, and Debs was like, no, we've got to do 2.5 hours. She's the Lucy Gossage of the group. I was like, okay. I was like, fair enough. I've not driven all this way not to get a 5-hour run in. So we trotted off a bit and kept on going, turned around, met up with a few other people that were turning around, chat, big old climb back out, and it starts raining. Eddie starts feeling a little bit, the legs have I was like, yeah, I can feel those workouts now. Eddie's a little bit less chatty. Met lots of lovely listeners suddenly come up behind you going, I love the podcast. I love Gary. I love Gary. Oh, he's so funny. Yeah. Oh, Gary. You don't know.
I edited that way.
I say, you don't know the truth. You should see what it's like. I'm like, like
toxic.
It's a toxic relationship. It started raining, Gary, and it's really bad rain when you're running in a big group of chatty women, and everybody goes quiet, and everybody begins to get strung out on the trail because you're like, I can't stop. I've got to keep moving because it was getting really, really cold. Up we go. Loads of German hikers coming the other way in like those big ponchos. Never ever have I seen so many unhappy people. They were so miserable coming down.
It's a shame.
Oh, it's such a shame. Are you a bit cold? And as we're going up the top, the guy was like, by the way, it's very windy at the top. Just to warn you. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a few stories. Here we go. Episode 93 of my Northern Traverse. We started descending then down the Devil's Staircase. And I was like, oh no, Gary, I'm really cold. So I was trying to it was really wet and streamy. And I was like trying to keep good pace, but without dying. So I was like, trick, come on. And I thought, I'll get my gloves on, I'll get changed at the bottom. And I was like, I know that's the bad thing to do. I just got to the bottom and I couldn't get my pack undone because my hands had got so cold. And I was like, I had that minute, Gary, when I was like, I'm not going to bother. But it was about 5-6 miles to Glencoe. And I thought, come on, Eddie, come on. Yeah. And then my absolute pièce de la résistance, and this is my top tip, is I have a pair of big waterproof mittens and an extra waterproof in my pack that's in a waterproof bag. Got those out, Gary. Cozy gloves on, 90 grams Precision Fuel and Hydration Gel, down it. Not going to make that last an hour. No, I'm going to down that. Even though it's only less than an hour to go. Absolutely sensational.
The world is right again.
Oh my God, the world is right. I think if you can have warm hands, you can cope with anything. So it's a super top tip. Have a pair of warm, dry gloves, plus always as an emergency. And even if you've only got if you put them on 5 miles to go, when you're getting to that, especially when you've been running for 4 hours, oh my gosh. And fuel, just get a load of fuel in. And then I was like, yeah. And even though it was really wet, really cold.
It's so tempting, though, isn't it, to miss that last gel?
Because I couldn't get the elastic off my thing. And then I was like, how am I going to get this back on? And literally the gloves were I had to wring them out, put them in my pack. To even just carry them back. It would have been it made such a difference, Gary. And then there's a long slope up to Glencoe where we'd parked the cars, and there was all the runners streaming up. And I said, and I thought in my head, I'm going to be the dick, and I'm going to run all the way up this slope, and I'm going to go past everyone going, oh yeah, you're right. Oh, my legs were screaming, and I was like, every time I went, are you okay?
Once you start.
I was like, can't stop now because they'll be like, oh, I think you're such a dick. Oh, and it was so funny. We got back to the cars. Obviously, we're all season pros, so then you grab all your dry stuff in your various carry bags. We went into the Loos in the Glencoe Cafe, and the lady came, poor lady, came and she went, do you think you could actually use the changing facilities in the dry room rather than the cafe toilet? She was so nice. We all had like our bums out and everything.
Sounds a bit passive aggressive to me, though, Eddie. That
she was a little bit, but then I was like, fair enough. We're all just standing in. There's water everywhere. Everyone like the blue nipples out, going. People pulling off other people's leggings and sports bras because we were all stuck. Oh, it's awful. So she was like this, and then we just had to cross over, and there was an enormous drying room with radiators and showers and stuff. I was like, fair enough. As I was running the last bit, Gary, I thought, oh, my skin feels a bit sore, like around my tummy and my back. Where my tummy button is, where I've had 3 children, if I run for a long time, and do you ever I get a bit of bloat when I've run for quite a long time?
Oh, goodness me, yeah.
Yeah, my tummy gets a bit bloated, and then my tummy button sticks out a bit, and then it
You got an
rubs.
outie?
No, I don't. Unless I get this like bit of a bloat, which I had got a bit of bloat, and I was like, oh, it rubbed my tummy button. I was like, oh, look down. I was like, oh, God, that's a bit gross. Didn't think anything. Dry top on, dry coat, blah, blah, blah. We went and had some lovely cake, lovely cups of tea, chips, got in the car to drive home, but it was still absolutely pouring rain. Got home, Gary, sitting in the car seat, and I went to like move my back, and my skin had like stuck to my top. And I was like, oh my God, I can't move. Oh my God, I can't move. I had to ring Bryn and go, Bryn, I can't move. My skin, my top is stuck to my back. Anyway, hobbled into the house. So I had like a soft merino, like wool top off. Whatever had happened to my body, the hives had oozed and stuck then to my
Stuck
And Bryn was like, I'm just going to rip it off you. I was like, no, don't rip it off me. Don't rip it off me, please. Anyway, we managed to get it off with like peeling. I was covered from my chest, all under my armpits, all over my back by these like red hives. It was so weird. But they were raw, Gary. So disgusting. Then I was like, I need some antihistamine or something.
Yeah.
Bryn was like, get in the shower. I was like, there is no way this is going underwater. I can't like put anything against. No. So we found some Piriton for the kids, and I took like 2 of those. And I just put my dressing gown on, and I just sat on the sofa. We've got no heating because our boiler's broken.
Oh, still.
And so I just sat on the sofa, literally no underwear or anything, Gary. Just had to sit there shaking like with my sword body. Like, what the hell has happened to me? I went from riding up. It was so sweet. Anyway, the Puritan kicked in, but because I'd taken 2 as well, I was like this. Bryn bought me a pizza. Bryn did. I literally couldn't do anything. He just like put pizza in my mouth. But
why did we do it, eh?
Why did we do it? After about 4 hours, I did manage to have a shower before I went to bed. I think my addiction to heat training has made my skin like quite rough without me noticing it. And then I think it got really, really wet, but it was so strange. So next day, Gary, I'd planned to do 90 minutes heat training. Yeah. There was no way. No. We went for a dog jog, and it was prickly heat. My whole skin was like on fire, and I was standing like just on the farm tracks going, didn't do any heat training. So there's a lesson to be learned there. As my friend told me when I told her, she said, perhaps you need to moisturize a little bit, Eddie, and shower more.
Passive aggressive again.
Yeah, but fair enough. So yeah, it was such a good running week. It's so lovely to see all the crew and spend some time on the West Highland Way. We're actually running the West Highland Way, me and a gaggle of mates, in a not long now month.
The whole shebang.
We're doing the whole shebang over 3 days. Oh, tasty!
Oh my goodness me! That sounds incredible.
Dreamy. Right, come on then. Did you get hives chaffing, have to take Puritan lie on the sofa with no underwear on?
It's always a boring week, isn't it, compared to... But we did have a family takeaway pizza, hasn't we, back for a few
days?
With your clothes on?
Then. Did you have a clothes on for that pizza?
We all fully clothed, yes. What pizza topping was on your pizza that Bryn got you?
Well, mine was just a veggie one. It wasn't particularly... and I don't know about you, but I eat the whole pizza. Do you eat the whole pizza? No sharing?
We got a huge one to share.
Oh,
It was big.
Was
Still
it
have leftovers.
big?
Oh my goodness me. It
How big? No.
was like 16 inches. It was a massive, massive.
You all know what I'm doing. You all
Yes,
know what
yes.
I'm doing.
But I never used to have a barbecue pizza. Esme has
I
this.
love a barbecue pizza.
Yeah, but this is pimped up. So it's a barbecue pizza and our local takeaway. You can have 3 extra toppings. Esme gets extra barbecue sauce on it. So it's like a mega barbecue.
Yes, hardcore barbecue
chips.
girl.
Chips on it too.
No, Gary, no.
Well, because Esme's a vegetarian.
Well, add some peppers or some onion or sweet
Oh,
corn.
she wouldn't eat that. My goodness me. Cheese, tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, chips. That is her.
That is the pizza. Oh no, Gary, no wonder you can finish it.
Imagine the carbs on that. But it was a lovely week. Always great to have Esme back for a couple of days. Gym twice. I've struggled with the gym the past few weeks. It was nice to actually get down the gym and do 2 sessions. I was absolutely pooped on Sunday, though, after the big day on Saturday. I showed willing, but the tank was empty. I've switched up the routine a bit, actually. I've increased the weight on some of the exercises.
Wow.
And I've added in some squats and I think they're called leg curls. I don't know if I could do more weight or it's just the type of exercise it was, but the burn I experienced.
You should do that machine, but the other way around with the hamstring curl.
Well, they have just a kind of free weight independent one, so you can do each leg independently. So I do hamstrings, but I don't get the burn like I did with the quad version of it. Absolute. I loved it.
Interesting.
Yes, I did enjoy my sessions, though. 8 times 5 minutes on the treadmill, 10% incline.
That is.
I thought I was going to be poorly because my heart rate, the speed or the elevation at the end of the session was probably the same as previous efforts, but the heart rate had no trouble getting really high. But I thought I was going to get ill. But yeah, HRV and everything, that has been fine so far. That is a big workout for me. That's 40 minutes of graft. Maybe I'm skiving, I'm not too sure what it is, but I always use that first one as a gauge just to see where I am for
First
the day. And then I make a deal with myself. I need to get to zone 4 by maybe 1 minute into that and then try and hold it.
Do you? Well, if it was 5 minutes, I'd probably give myself 2.5 minutes. The first couple, definitely 2.5 minutes to get into zone.
Maybe I'm being a bit generous
really
with that 1
slow
minute.
the first one because I'm like, then you can only improve. You can only improve. Such a lazy
such a
trainer.
relief. You'll know if you set your workout on your watch, you get that like 5-second beep before your rep is over. Oh my goodness me! When that beep starts.
But also when it beeps just before it starts, and sometimes you can be a pre-starter, and then it starts, and you go, but I've already started. What do you mean it's only just started? I've been going for 3 minutes.
Yeah, when I get muddled up on the sessions, if I press lap 2, if I do it wrong or something, I've cocked it all up. But yeah, like I said, that is a big workout for me. So when that is ticked off, that is fun times. I have added a steady run to my week only because Garmin has kind of told me to on the reports that it gives me. Big love for that zone 3. I don't think Rex was too happy because he cannot come.
No, Tarky.
All the
zone
sniffing,
3.
the wheeze, the poos, the chasing the squirrels, all that stuff. Yeah, he would have totally wrecked that run. And that's the plan going forward. 1 or 2 steady runs a week. It kept whatever the metric is anyway. It's put me in, I went productive on Garmin. So just by doing that.
My steady runs are normally twice a week. Tuesday morning when you go, can we record at 9:30? And I have 43 minutes to do my run. And then when a child rings going, can you come and get me? I've finished school and I'm 3 miles into my 6-mile run. I
just went down the Dean. It was nice, just in the nature reserve. But the first probably 2 miles of it is progressively downhill. There's a few ups, but then when you turn and come back home, there's no problem whatsoever getting into zone 3. It's a lap recce on Saturday. People have reached out. Are you doing the lap? Are you doing the lap? I am not doing the lap. My goodness me, it's super tempting. What a great route. Some lovely climbs too. Great views back down to Windermere. It was a big day, 28 miles, 6,000 feet of vert and a ferry trip. I think all runs should include a ferry trip. Absolutely loved it. I felt strong, fueled like a pro until the very end where because I got cold, similar to you, I was having a little debate with myself. I had the gloves. See, I didn't do what you did. I had gloves. I had an insulated jacket. I had the waterproof jacket, but I just kind of toughed it out in the rain. But I did take that. I couldn't take my shoes off. I couldn't undo anything. Everything just had to be forced undone. Yeah.
You're
really
the sort of
pathetic.
person I kick. You know,
Yeah.
I'd be like, just kick you out the way and be like, sort yourself
did
out. Come on, I've not got time for this. Get out of the way.
But you're exactly right. You're exactly right what you were saying.
Yes.
When
Can we just
everyone's mood
edit that
dips.
bit?
That's a soundbite for the week. When the mood dips, the weather turns, the conversation stopped, everybody spread out because nobody really wanted to get cold by hanging around. Yeah, it totally transformed the run. I think the weather really turned once fell. Super busy, so many people out on the trails. It was great to see, but all the way back to Bowness, then to where the ferry was. Never trust somebody who plans the route, or always take their route with a pinch of salt. We were told, I think it was 27 miles, about 5,500 feet of vert. And I was looking at one of these climbs and I was like to Robbo, I don't want to go up there, Robbo. I don't want to. I'd had enough. Everyone had enough by that point. But sure enough, yes, we had to go up every lump and bump we saw. Like I say, it ended up being about 28 miles, 6,000 feet. So Anna Troop, and I got a bit starstruck. I'm pretty sure, if I got this right, Anna Troop owns the Grasmere Gather now. Could be wrong. Could be. Apologies, Anna, if I've given misinformation. And she was running out of Ambleside. People who've done the Lakeland 50 and Lakeland 100 will know that climb out of Ambleside. And then you drop down to Chester's by the river, a little cafe there. Like I say, I got a bit starstruck. I just ran past her. I recognised the face. And I just like, Anna Troop. And then just kept running. No acknowledgement. That was like really weird. I got past her, I thought, oh my goodness me, what a massive idiot. I literally had no...
Did you say Anna Troop to her as you ran past?
Just
oh, you
Anna Troop.
idiot.
We all noticed because she was running up, her and I don't know who it was, maybe
Richard.
her husband, the partner,
Yeah,
Richard.
yeah.
They were running up that climb, and we've all normally given up and are walking by then. So we were super impressed that she was still running. I had a gym session on the plan. I was going to run. I thought I'm going to try and do 5 mile at marathon pace on the treadmill. No chance at all of that happening. It was a token gesture for the gym. I went, but yeah, I showed willing. But yeah, it didn't really do much graft. Happy with the volume, decent vert. I've been hitting the arch of my foot. I said a few weeks ago that I little kind
You
of...
did, yes. How is it?
I've been using the, what they call the massage guns on the arch of my foot. That has improved it 100%. So all good in the hood, but I've noticed this, and everybody probably will resonate at home. We've got busy lives. If you miss your slot, if you're faffing and you miss your slot,
It's over. Yep.
it's over.
Yeah.
Game
Yeah, I have
over.
to be like, I go now.
Yeah.
And hold that slot sacred to my heart. Or
As soon as-
but once it's gone, then you just have to like accept it's gone and get over it. It's like an ex-boyfriend, you know. You just have to be like, it didn't work out today.
Do you know
Okay.
Facebook stalk them? see what they're doing.
I should say as well, Gary, Bryn and I have started watching Paradise. Have you watched it?
I have no idea what this is.
So when we were on our run before the rain and we were actually talking, we were talking about things we were watching, blah, blah, blah. And Deb said, you got to watch Paradise. I said, is it scary? You know, my penchant for anything. And she was like, no, I can't even tell you what it's about. You just need to watch it. And
Okay.
so
Netflix, Amazon.
what is it on? Star, I want to say. We just have a like search it up and it comes up. Do not give me a spoiler, anybody who else is watching it. But if you're, we know we love a recommendation. It's not scary, it's just do you like stuff like 24 and that sort of like, do you remember?
I've never seen an episode of 24, but I do, yeah, I would enjoy that.
Designated Survivor, that sort of
Never
like.
seen that either, no.
Okay, right. But anybody
Moving on.
else, I know there's a lot of people out there who have the same TV.
Well, Night Agent was only a 6 out of 10, Eddie. It's not good.
This is not Night Agent's dead to
Okay.
me. Dead to me. This is new. This is good. It's so good. You know, when you sit and you watch a whole episode and nothing else takes your attention, we were just sitting there going, no, it can't be. It can't be. But
okay,
because
I'm
we
in,
don't
I'm in.
have any free time, we've watched one episode.
Yeah.
We might have to watch them separately.
Oh, don't do that. It's
No, we
dangerous.
can't do that. But so it's going to take us a long time to watch. But it's so nice to find something that's good. So I thought I'd give it a recommendation.
We watched Sir Nicolas Cage, comedy, vampire. Is it called Reinfeld? I could be wrong with its name. I think it's on Netflix. Really good comedy, so not scary. You're not scared.
Okay.
so much blood. It is absolutely incredible. And each vampire, a vampire has a familiar who's their kind of servant, really, and does all their jobs when they're asleep during the night and brings them dead bodies and blah, blah, blah. Cleans up the mess after them.
I've got one of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really here.
It's the story of the familiar and the vampire and crime and stuff like that. Really, really good. And I'm going to whisper it. I have ordered a core heat sensor.
I cannot wait for this journey to start. Your hives. I did a little experiment for you last night. So to top off my power strides, I then I could not bear to be on the treadmill one more second. So I said, I'm going to keep the heat stuff on and try and run outside and see if it keeps my core temperature up and see if I can still do that. And it did. So I did on my little 3-mile loop. That's normally my dog walk. And I ran it, but it's down round loads of long track. I was slightly like 6 layers hood. It was a lovely evening. A hat. The farmer pulled over and he went, "Are you going skiing?" And he was chortling away. He thought he was the funniest.
Let me down the pub telling that story.
I just went, no.
Jog on.
I can't hear anything because I've got so many heads on.
I quite often get people say hello to me and I've got my headphones under my hat. So they think I'm ignorant. It's not that fact I'm ignoring them. I literally just don't hear that they are talking to me. I'm going to do so today, if I stop faffing and actually get all my jobs done and go to the gym to do my run, I'm going to go upstairs and check out the sauna upstairs in.
Going to go in? Factory. Oh, please.
Well, no, I'm just going to look at it.
Call me from the sauna, please. I manage 4 minutes, Eddie.
I need to know the protocol, see what it's like, see what buttons I have to
check
press.
it. Yeah, and see what you're really going is seeing if people are going naked. And if you.
I don't want to go in if other people are there. I just want it all to myself.
It's beautiful. You're going to sit with your own thoughts, Gary.
Oh, no.
If you can pass 40 minutes in a sauna, I'll give you.
Well, I can't. I know. I've been in them when we go on holiday.
I'm going to give you 10 minutes and you're going to come out crying. 5 minutes. So don't worry too much about the book.
Yeah, but in Finland, they just keep chucking the bloody water on the hot coal. So it's absolutely.
That's what I'm going to do when I find you're in there. It's going
to. Love it. So, yeah. The journey begins. Thanks, Precision Fuel and Hydration, for supporting Brew with the Coaches. Their website and newsletter are such good source of knowledge, articles to read and YouTube content to binge on too. On YouTube, you can learn how to fuel an ultramarathon, what pro runners carry on race day and how to nail your marathon prep. Yeah, check it out now. A few weeks to go from London and Manchester. Check it out if you are on the start line. New product alert. Yes, we teased you a few weeks ago. Super impressed with the 60-gram chews. Lime and mint is my favourite. It's a great product. If anybody's familiar with the chews, you basically doubled up the carbs, but with less packaging and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, big thumbs up for me. And I saw a great share over on Instagram. It must have been like a Precision Fuel and Hydration Instagram story. In your empty tubes of your effervescent tablets, use that as your carb drink container for when you're on a super duper long run, so you can top up your bottles mid-run. I never do that. I've had like little Ziploc bags. It's a bit of a faff.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
Give it a go. If you would like to try Precision Fuel and Hydration, then use the code TEATIME2025 for 15% off your first order. And if you are a Patreon, then you get a whopping 20% off. Head over to Patreon for all the deets. Jen Colbeck got in touch this week. Everybody was blown away by Jane's strength and determination to get back to what she loves doing. And if you have a question for our coaches, then pop over to teantrails.com and fill in the Google form via the Brew with the Coaches button on the homepage. And like we mentioned in the interview, we will pop the link to moveagainstcancer.org in the show notes. I've been a runner for the last 30 years, but very much mid to back of the pack. Running is my headspace time. It's my thing, my go-to for problem solving and putting the world and my life to rights. Last August, I fell over a tree root. This led to a cracked rib, then an x-ray, which led to a diagnosis of lung cancer. Utterly flawed, barely covers it. I think I spent the next 2 months in denial until it was time to go into hospital. I was treated fantastically by the NHS and spent 4 nights in hospital, having half a lung removed in December. It was stage 1, 13 millimeters long, and they removed it all, plus some lymph nodes. I now have 6 monthly scans for 5 years. No chemo. I'm now able to slowly run for up to 2 miles with periods of walking to get to the bottom of my breath. If I so much as look at an incline, I'm breathless. I run until I'm gasping, and then I have to slow right up to regain control and then set off again. It's a massive improvement from 3 months ago when I was able to run just 10 steps, then walk and repeat this several times. I'm 57, consider myself pretty fit, or I was before all of this, and had run my first ultra in November 2023. Thank you, Ultra Trails, and was looking forward to another this year. Whilst this is clearly not your average running injury, I am really struggling to find anything out there to benchmark my journey back to running. Will I ever get back to running properly? As well as my limited running, I'm spinning a bit, doing some strength work and plenty of walking. My core muscles have been traumatized by the surgery, and I am trying to re-establish my core. I become very demoralized that my running life may be over, and I'll have to put up with just a gentle jog for a few miles several times a week, and there will never be another ultra. And normally when depressed about something, I would go for a run to clear my head, but I can't now. From what I understand, my remaining half lung will have to stretch to fill the gap left by the removal of the other half. This takes time apparently, but I really can't find much information to help guide me. Are any of the coaches able to offer any information, advice or guidance on the best steps for recovery and rebuilding my body, my confidence and my headspace? Oh my goodness me, just so much trauma there, Jane. Absolutely unbelievable. Rebecca, start with you first. Any hope for Jane?
Absolutely, there is hope. I think it's a massive ordeal that you've been through, and it's major surgery. And the recovery from that alone is big, and obviously recovering from the underlying illness as well, and everything that you've been through since you found out about that diagnosis. But it sounds like you've gone about it in absolutely the right way by building up gradually from what you can do. And obviously, probably from surgery in those first sort of 6-8 weeks, there would have been quite a lot of prescriptive things that you had to or had to not do. And you're right, the idea is obviously the lung reinflates sort of takes up the space that the other half of the lung would have been taken up. Quite often there's some specific exercises and things that they give you to do to help with sort of that breathing aspect post-op. It's a big recovery because the big incision usually, and you've got to just recover from the fact that you've had that, plus what they've then taken out and the adjustment to that. So there's lots of different things that you've had to go through, and you're finding that there's been different barriers that you've come up against, not least that sort of return to fitness in terms of your breathing, but return to fitness in terms of your strength, core muscles and all of that sort of thing. And I think that's really difficult. You've had to come to terms with a diagnosis. That's the most important thing. Prior to the surgery, you had that big period where you were waiting to have the surgery, and now you're sort of feeling the effects of that, and your coping strategy for difficult things in life has been running. So that's made it harder to cope. You can be really positive and say you've got through surgery, prognosis is really good, but it's just a slow rebuild phase. It's not, you're never going to get there. It's just you have to take things slower than you otherwise would have liked to have done. And it's about making sure you sort of reconstruct all those bits that have fallen apart. Okay, so that's all the strength stuff, that's the mental stuff, that is also the sort of breathing and the sort of cardiovascular respiratory side of things as well. So there's lots of different pieces to that jigsaw to put back together. But I think it sounds like you're going about it in absolutely the right way, and it is just a matter of patience to build it up, considering everything that you've been through. And I think it's really important that you're able to talk about it, and I hope there are people that you can talk to about this and look at sort of alternative ways of coping with things, particularly from the mental aspect. I think that's going to be the biggest thing to enable you to have that patience to go through the physical recovery. It's important that you've got the ability to talk through that with somebody the mental aspects of the diagnosis and the treatment that you've had.
Jane, we've had Lucy Gossage on. It will be a name very familiar to you, but she's been on the podcast before, and she set up the Move Against Cancer charity, which is all about helping and inspiring people to exercise while they're undergoing treatment or if cancer is affecting their life. So I will put the note in we'll put the resources in the show notes, but I would really recommend perhaps touching base with that charity as well, because I think finding some like-minded people would really help being able to talk about this as well. And Jane, if you need some help with coming back into running, a little bit of advice or just a sounding board, send us a message at Tea and Trails Towers, and I'd be more than happy to help you with building your core back and getting that running back, because I think the biggest thing you have to trust is the process. Breathe and believe right now. I don't think you should focus on what you were like before the surgery and before this diagnosis. I think we have to change that into not a negative thought, but a positive thought of moving forward and the steps you've already made to move forward and how you can help moving forward as well. I can only imagine how hard this journey is for you. But I think the biggest thing, as Rebecca said, from a sort of non-medical point of view, is by surrounding yourself with positive people, perhaps like-minded people, but also focusing on moving forward. Or yes, the journey, I'm sure, will have ups and downs and roundabouts, but moving forward and your new lungs, what you can do with your new lungs and trying to spin it that way as well. But Jane, yeah, jump in if you'd like a little bit of help or a chat. We're here. And perhaps as well, we wanted to put this question out because also we thought, I bet there are people listening that have been in similar situations or are in similar situations that we can put you in touch with. But sending big love and also just wow, heavy flex. In the words of the Thwaites, heavy flex, and kudos for going through that and now being positive and wanting to move forward and back into running.
Jane, I mean, incredible. I mean, just want to say how amazing that you are doing what you're doing already after 3 months. I mean, I read that and I was absolutely blown away by what you've achieved already. Just really incredible. So a massive, massive pat on the back. I mean,
gently, Trish.
Yeah, gentle pat on the back. Yeah, well done. I mean, your question, will I get back to running properly? I think you can answer that yourself because, I don't know if you'll ever get back to running how you were. That's the truth. I don't know that. But what I do know is that you have done so incredibly well in a short period of time already. What I do know is that you're obviously one heck of a tough individual to go through what you've done. You've done hard stuff already. And you know what? I do know there's lots of other people out there who have been through similar trauma and will have come back and will have done hard stuff. So why not you? Why not you? There's absolutely
I told you. She gave me goosebumps. She gave me goosebumps.
Why you cannot do this. And you've shown you've got the mental capacity, you've got the emotional strength, you've got the physical guts and grit to get through this. I mean, look at all you've done already in the space of 3 months. Where a lot of people would have just absolutely crumbled. So I absolutely think that there is more to come for you for sure. It's a long way back. It is. It's absolutely a long way back. And you're you're 58 now, so things are going to change. Things are going to be different. But focus on what you can do today. I use that approach with all of my athletes and myself. Like I've just come back from an injury, which seems incredibly small in comparison to what you've come back from. But the focus and the strategy has to be the same. Focus on what you can do today, and tomorrow will come. So do what you can do today, and tomorrow will come. So I think exactly what Eddie was saying there, and what Bex is saying. Don't underestimate what you are capable of. Don't underestimate what you can come back from. You've already proved to yourself, you've answered your own question. You are going to come back. You are doing incredibly well right now. Keep doing what you're doing. Touch base with Lucy's charity. Again, like Eddie said, if you want to touch base with any of the coaches, I mean, again, I'm more than happy. I am on Instagram. You can slide my DM.
Yeah, slide. Just go, Trish. I just need a voice note every morning. I think I need a Trish voice every morning.
Do
what you can today, Eddie.
Just remember, do what you can do this day, and never underestimate what you can do. You've done hard things. You will do this. You've done hard things. Why not not you? Why not you? Remember that.
Please keep us posted with how you do, Jane, and sending lots of love from everybody here and massive heavy flex right at you. This week's main interview is sponsored by Phoenix. The best design comes from the actual needs of users. Phoenix takes providing mobile lighting products with excellent performance as the goal and born for harsh environments as its mission. Never forget where you started and your mission can be accomplished. We have now both got our HL 18RT V2.0. That is just ridiculous. Who in the marketing team at Phoenix shout up to us, goes, I've got the perfect name for this lightweight head torch.
Trips off the tongue.
Just trips off the tongue. Everybody's going to love it. It's going to be out there. It's the HL18RT. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Super lightweight, 800 lumens and weighs, I'm holding it in my hand now. Oof. Oh, phone is
Oh,
heavy.
you know it's a difference.
Yeah.
You know it's a difference from the other head torch.
Well, I'm holding my phone and the head torch, and it's lighter than my phone, and I wouldn't go anywhere without my phone.
It's a good test.
Yeah, so it's a great little lightweight your second backup. Most races that are going to go overnight, and you should always have two head torches if you're going overnight anyway. But also, I always just carry a head torch when I did my 5-hour run, even though I knew we were going to be nowhere near the dark. Always have a head torch just in case something happens on the trail and you're going to end up needing some light, handy built-in whistle too. USB-C for the geeks out there. Currently it's £62.95. And don't forget, patrons can enjoy 10% off over at www.phoenixlight.co.uk. But I didn't need my head torch. I went out jogging. I was out jogging in my heat suit at 7:30 at night.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Oh, and and it catches me out every year, and I say it every year. We sit that first night and you go, so nice to have the light evenings. And you think, do you think everybody in Britain is sitting around having their tea going, wow, it's so nice. It's blowing the kids' minds. They're like, still light. And I'm like, yeah, it's still bedtime if you go.
Throws you in the evening, doesn't it? Because it does stay light and you think you've got loads of time left. You look at the clock, it's like
9:15. It's 9:15. It's bedtime. I'm not in my jammies.
But when the clocks go forward, though, that has plunged me into darkness for a couple of morning dog jogs. Today was great, actually. It was a 10 out of 10. Head torch to start the jog with Rex. Crystal clear skies. Sun came up. No dramas. No other. There's a few dogs that Rex isn't best mates with.
Oh, no, really? What are their names? Dirk.
There was a little bit of second breakfast as he scooped up some horse poo, but other than that, it was a 10 out of 10. The geese were flying north, made such a racket.
It. Oh, I love it.
What a dream.
But they'll probably find onto me. You could send them a couple of messages. Say yeah.
But I used my HL18 this morning. Great bit of kit.
I think they should put another number in there. It's just not enough.
Yeah, why not?
Good luck with your imminent run to Sunderland, Julie, helping to raise funds for the Derwent Hill Outdoor Education Centre. Julie is passionate about young people having access to the outdoors, something a lot of us might take for granted, definitely. But my children definitely take for granted the fact that they can just go outside and play. You've been there, have you, Gary?
Yeah, well, I take it for granted now. You know, we go to the lakes as often as possible. But one of my first memories of the lakes, and I didn't realise this was something that Durham County Council, it was an initiative to get people from kind of working class areas out into the countryside. I went to the Howtown Centre. People who've done the Lakeland 100 and the Lakeland 50 will have zoomed past it many a time. They might not even realise what it is, but I had such a wonderful time. And it was the first time I ever saw that. We'd go with a local bus company and we'd go on the lake. My dad would love rowing us around the lake, but we'd never go out in the wilderness. And they took us camping. They did take us on the lake. They took us rock climbing, all things that I'd never ever been exposed to before. And yeah, it's a lasting memory. Whoa, it could be nearly 40.
Let's not. We don't need to put a number on it. We're not Phoenix. We don't need to put a number on it. A couple of years ago.
Yeah, super lucky to have that opportunity. And if you can afford it, then yes, please check out Julie's Just Giving page. We'll pop a link in the show notes. Julie Carter is a fascinating individual with a diverse background. She is a former scientist, teacher, and GP who has transitioned into a creative writer and Fellrunner. Julie has a deep connection to the Lake District where she finds inspiration for her writing and running. She has authored books like Running the Red Line and Making a Macam, which explore themes of belonging, personal growth, and navigating life's challenges. Her work often blends creative non-fiction, poetry, and essays, and she shares her thoughts through outdoor journals, live events, and her blog. Julie's passion for fell running has also made her a champion in her age group. How did AI do, Julie? Is that 100% accurate or a little bit sketchy?
Yeah, I can't argue with it.
There's a full and rich AI description and there's loads of stuff to go through there. So if we don't, we'll try and touch on most of it, hopefully. But if we don't, you've got a website, www.mindfell.co.uk. So yeah, people want to dig a little bit deeper, they can head over to that. What is it about the lakes? My group of friends, we drive there many weekends as possible. And you are from the northeast, but why make the lakes your home?
Well, I would say that it adopted me, really. Yeah, so I come from Sunderland and it was quite tough as a kid, and grew up in a bit of a nightmare of a sort of household, really, and didn't fit in at school and life wasn't going well. And then when I was 13, we all trogged off in a bus to the Lake District for a week, outdoor centre just by Keswick called Derwent Hill, which is still going, and Sunderland Education Authority run that centre. Then I sort of thought, oh, hello, I've seemed to have sort of fallen into a different universe. Just loved every millisecond of it. I described this bit, it's a bit in my book, Running the Red Line, about how I stood on the little wobbly bridge at Portinscale looking up at Skiddaw when we had to go home and crying. And I think the end of that bit is I just was like heartbroken at the idea of going home. And then I sort of had this feeling about Skiddaw looking up, and I always call her the mother now because I live in Portinscale now, actually.
Yeah.
But, I say, oh, the mother's looking nice today. Oh, yeah, that I looked up at the mountain and just not wanting to go back, really. And I felt the mountain was saying, look, you are a girl and I am a mountain and I will wait. I did feel that sense of nurture that I had not henceforth, in my life up to that point, I had not felt that. It was a powerful experience and probably the most important experience of my entire life. Most influential, really, I would say. So, yeah, I didn't kind of choose it. It chose me, really. Or it happened to me, yeah.
I bet so many runners listening to this, probably running now, looking up, maybe on Skiddaw, looking up, can relate to that feeling. Maybe not as strong. And it's a very intense feeling to have when you're 13 as well. I was trying to imagine my kids who are roughly the same age, but I can actually imagine them going, I feel like I've come home and this is where I'm going to be. And you still remember that feeling. And gosh, the importance then of these sort of opportunities for young people that don't have that opportunity. And it's amazing that centre is still going.
It was common for LEAs all over the northeast to have centres in the lakes. I mean, I used to work in Howtown on Ullswater, which was Durham LEA's centre, but I can't remember when it started, Derwent Hill, and I don't know much about that very early history, but I ought to find out because, it's very perilously close. About 3 weeks' time, I'm actually going to do a run. There'll be walking involved, I can tell you, because I'm pretty broken at the moment.
Oh, no.
A run from Derwent Hill to the Stadium of Light in Sunderland to raise money for Derwent Hill. Yeah, so I will be sort of doing posting, and putting some stuff out about that. The aim is to try and raise £10,000. So because that would be the sort of amount of money which would pay for the equivalent of a whole class of kids to be able to come to Derwent Hill. And there's a thing called Friends of Derwent Hill, and they are a registered charity, so all the money goes through them, and their specific purpose is just to support kids who can't afford to go, basically.
Oh, it's super important. If anyone can support that, if everyone can afford to support that. I remember you mentioned Howtown, and we were blessed. That was school every other year, Wellfield School, where I went, had the opportunity to go to Howtown for, it felt like a lifetime. It was probably only a few days, but real fond memories. And it's the first time, we'd ever really get on the water or climb mountains and go camping out in the wilds. So if you can support that, please, in the Facebook group, Julie, share the links and anything like that, and people can get behind it. That would be great. Fantastic. So, my goodness me. So how many miles is that then from where you are to the Stadium of Light?
There's another debatable issue because the some of the staff at Derwent Hill have done a map, and I told them the route, and I'm a bit perturbed that the map seems to have quite a lot of straight lining on it. Whereas, in reality, there'll be an awful lot of wiggly woggly. So it's 88 miles, but it'll be in the 90s for sure.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I want it not to exceed 100, I'll tell you that. It's going to be tough for me. I know it doesn't sound like a big thing to many people. Oh, yeah, they could.
I think it does.
Yeah, with me now, it's like, I can't pretend I'm the runner that I was, I'm nowhere near. And I've got, physical issues and stuff. So, it's just about keeping the wheels on, really.
Are you going to, is it on road? Is it on trail?
Mainly, I'm going to try and make it as much off-road as possible because our roads hurt, really, me now. But, it's unavoidable to do a certain amount of road.
Have you got a support crew? Have you got people sort of running with you?
Well, some kids from Derwent Hill are going to sort of run with me a little bit at the start to set me off, and then
they'll go, "Why are you going so slow? Come on, let's go!"
Yeah, they will, and I'm going, I'm about 6 times as old as you, which will be true actually. And then similarly at the other end, I think there'll be a few kids from the Sunderland schools, and that should be nice. My partner will support me by driving the camper van along and meeting me and giving me a cup of tea and a bed, really, when I feel that I can allow myself some rest if I'm going far enough and keep up, then I can have a little bit of a kip here and there, and that's it, really. And I think some of the staff from Derwent Hill are going to come out as well. Yeah.
Have you checked the fixtures list though? Or maybe you want to plan it so you get there on a Saturday. 40,000.
No, I get there on a Thursday the 10th of April at 4 p.m. I've got to be arriving. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a tight. That gives me a bit of anxiety. That tight schedule. Gary was hoping you were going to run into the stadium, weren't you, Gary?
Yay! Yeah.
No, well, I'm hoping that some of the football team will be there, or someone representing them will, definitely, because I was a big Sunderland fan when I was a kid. That's the kind of bittersweet memories there. But I'd love to go to a game again. I mean, I haven't been since I was a teenager, really.
When I lived down south, I used to come home at the weekends occasionally, and even when Sunderland weren't playing at home, I'd drive to Sunderland and drive around Roker Park then just to get the feels. It was really, I couldn't really put a finger on it. I just needed to go there.
I think there's this funny thing as well in the book that I've wrote called Making a Macam. I talk about that feeling of needing to have come from somewhere that you do feel a connection with, a sense of belonging. And even though it was a sort of troubled place in many ways for me, I still feel this connection with it, and I would always feel quite fond of it. And so, there is a power in that connection even still.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was really, really delighted to find out only latterly, when I'd done loads and loads and loads of running in my life, it turns out that my great-grandfather was the founder of Gateshead Harriers. It was through the Great North Run that I started running ever in the first place, really.
Did you know he was the founder before you started at the Great North Run?
No. So I was like a sixth former, and my friend did the Great North Run, and we were both like struggling a lot. And she did this, somebody encouraged her to do that. And then I thought, well, maybe I can do it. So the next year I did it. And the thing is, people started running then. I mean, nobody would run before that, but then you'd see people running around the streets. So it was like, it really became a thing when the Great North Run
Yeah.
took off.
Yeah.
So this is in the early 80s, and then I did the Great North, and I loved it, and running just took off for me from then. But then I think it's funny, like how the whole popular movement of running, really, the Great North Run was so pivotal in, not just in the UK, but worldwide, really, in making running an accessible sport for the average person or for anybody, really. Yeah, and then it was Brendan Foster, who was a Gateshead Harrier, who started the Great North Run. And then, so that was like when I'm in late teens, and then when I'm in my mid-40s, I find out, actually, it was my great-grandfather that started Gateshead Harriers. I felt this real, because I'd come from this kind of troubled background in Sunderland, I kind of wanted to disconnect from it, even though there was that fondness, as you described, need to belong and everything, and feeling that Sunderland and the North East in general is a special kind of place, a special kind of community, but also because I was personally troubled from my background there, my difficult sort of family situation. Yeah, I didn't really ever want to go back. But I did, I had this pull push thing. I didn't want anything to do with it, but I really wanted to have something to do with it. And then when I found out about my great granddad, I just was bowled over by that, really. And so, then that was what the Mackham book was all about, really. It was like my connection with him and finding out about him. And
that must have been one of the original running clubs, wasn't it?
oh, it was. It was 1904, I think. It started, and I mean, the thing is, he wasn't a posh bloke either. He was a barber, and he was like, he was he was it was interesting. I can't. It's very. There's nothing written down about him really, and all this is from like really elderly people in our family, though I've sought out distant people. But he didn't believe in owning property, for example, even though he was like had this big sort of business, I think he was a bit of a kind of very much a left-wing socialist, really. And I don't know why he just started the running club, but they all had TB. He died of TB, but because it was like working class Gateshead in the 1904, and that they all had the sort of jobs that, that it wasn't healthy and there was no money. And, I mean, he died around the time of the Jarrah marches, it was just absolutely poverty stricken and desperate. And yet, they had this running club.
Oh, what we wouldn't do to go back and see and talk to him and...
I know. I've got a photograph of him, and Gateshead Harriers in their office in the stadium, they have a photograph of him on the wall, and it says "Our founder." The first time I saw that, just about
that would have been.
It was really
what a moment.
And then I sometimes look at him and I think, God, I've got no idea what you'd even say. I kind of You want I want to bring him to life, but. Yeah, I can imagine him a little bit because my mum had memories of him. He was her granddad. He taught her to swim in the North Sea at colour courts.
Oh my goodness!
Oh Lord!
Yeah. She said there was no option; they'd be going in, and that was that. Yeah, he used to do all this stuff like organise sports days in the park, and like make sure all the kids who would never win anything got something, and make sure all the the people who had nothing to eat and that they got. It was like it wasn't just about the running; it was about this community and this sort of looking after people thing, which I just think, particularly because I think, the family that I ended up in were nothing about looking after anybody really. Then that, the fact that I have got an ancestor that I can kind of...
It's in your blood. You knew it. You knew there was
DNA.
something. Yeah,
it must be wonderful though, because you mentioned like about your childhood, not being happy, but then having your great grandfather, somebody you actually can connect with like that. Yeah, it must have been quite a wonderful moment for you actually.
Yeah, very much so. Very sort of... really, really sort of uplifting and sort of nourishing, really, to have that,
And to think that race as well, the Great North Run, Gary and I have done it multiple times.
Yeah.
How many times have you done it, Gary? I did it 3.
Oh, goodness me, countless times.
But many people listening, and it's a gateway to hundreds, thousands of people who would never, not just the people doing the race, but when you do the race as well, like the road is lined the whole way. It's such a local community race as well. And I mean, it's massive now, isn't it? It's massive. It's probably bigger than even like we were doing it. I
don't know if you do this, Julie, if you listen, Mark Knopfler, Local Hero. Now, I'm a Mackham, so I'm not particularly a fan of anything Geordie, but when I hear that song, and I visualise myself on the start line, the Great North Run, and quite often you'll read the back of people's vests, and maybe they're running for a charity or someone deed to them, then maybe they've lost. All those emotions distilled onto that start line there. If I hear that song, I still choke up. Very powerful.
And when did you first run on the fells? Where did that?
Oh, that wasn't for ages. So I'm very much into alpine climbing, and even went to the Himalayas a few times, stuff like that. So big mountains, but not running. And I was a doctor for a long, long time, so obviously that's a bit time taking and energy sapping. I came to live in the lakes when I was about 40, I think, or 39, 40, and I looked at the Mother Mountain and thought, I wonder if I could run up it now, and then ran up. I thought, God, this is good. And then thought, I think there's races on the fell. I think there's races on the fell. I found out that there was a Blencathra fell race, and that was my first fell race, really. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but just followed everybody. Luckily, there were some nice fell runners there who kind of welcomed me really. And I have this sort of problem with my back. My back is very curved and it just grew that way. I've got this congenital sort of spinal problem, and it's kind of very obvious. And I felt very at that stage, I don't so much now, at that stage in my life, I felt very self-conscious about it in an athletic context. Yeah, when it's, especially when like in a fell race, there's like a small field of people and you feel a bit conspicuous and stuff. But the fellow I met there was, there was a fellow there who's become a great friend really, and he was so welcoming, but he has got one arm, and I thought, well, it just made a real difference to see that you can, felt like a very, very, very welcoming community, and it didn't matter how old you are, what you looked like, if you can run up and down Blencathra and get back before closing time, you're all right.
Yeah.
And it was just again one of those moments I'll never forget, like running down St. Fell. It's as if I can play a video of it now in my head, this race, thinking, because I knew I'd got into something on that night. It was an evening race, and I just thought, oh my God, I love this. And I knew that was right. Okay, there's something started here,
It makes you feel like you're a kid again. I was running off Helvellyn and I was giggling away to myself. I spent most of the time on my bum. It makes you feel like you're 12 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all need to not be ashamed of the fact that it's good to play however old you are. I think so anyway.
I'm a big fan of the Bob Graham round. Fortunate, had a successful attempt, one failed attempt, but now, like with the Bob, once you get involved in that community, then you support other people. And I've got some other friends now who are hopefully having an attempt this year. So yeah, I think once you dip your toe into that environment, it's very seductive and quite hard to get out. You are a member of the Bob Graham Round Club, but you went one better and did 55 at 55, 42 fells. That was super hard. Why 55 at 55?
Well, I have this way of explaining things sometimes. It's like when asked a question like this, it's not so much that I have an idea, but an idea has me. When something's occurred to you and you sort of have a feeling about it, and then you kind of become sort of subservient to the thing that's took over you.
I think everybody can understand that. You get a little earworm, don't you, in your ear, and you're like, oh, I can't stop thinking about that now. Now I've got to do it because I can't stop thinking about it. I really don't want to do it.
It's got you. When an idea's got you, you just think, oh, it's got me. But like how it happened was I was training actually with two friends. A real good friend of mine I used to train a lot with. She's called Sam Ayres. She's brilliant. She does rowing racing now. She's a world champion, but she was a brilliant runner and helped me a lot. And a friend of hers. They were Ricky in a leg two if you're going that way around clockwise. So the Dodds leg, they were wrecking that with me. We're running over that horrible reedy bit before you cross the coach road.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And Sam said to Dave, this fellow, are you going to do a 55 at 55? A 50 at 50. And I was like, what's a 50 at 50? So,
shouldn't have asked.
So then they were saying, they told me about it. And I thought, oh. And at this stage, I was 42. And I did the 42 when I was 42.
I see.
And then I thought, I think when I'm 50, I'm going to do. So there was a quiet little thing, like they planted this seed and it was like germinating and germinating. When I'm 50, I'll do that. When I'm 50, I'll do
They knew what they were doing, Julie.
But I couldn't do it. I'm sure they did. Devious. And then when I was 50, I don't know, I think it was difficult. I had all these back problems. I had prolapse disc. I think it was physically really, a lot of things weren't going well. And then I couldn't do it. And then I fell off a climb and broke my pelvis real bad and other things. I broke other things, but the pelvis was the worst. And then that really scuppered it all. And then I was 50, and all of a sudden I'm 55 now. And I thought, oh, I'm 55. I don't know. I just had the harebrained scheme. And I thought it was very, very amusing to me, actually, because a lot of friends locally in the North Lakes were willing to support me. But I don't think any single one of them believed that I could do it. I kept getting these messages, yes, we'll meet you there. Yes, yeah, it'll be fine. But don't feel bad if you've got to drop out. If we just go for a little run and a cup of tea, you mustn't beat yourself up about it. It's so, and I kept getting messages like that, that sort of betrayed the fact that they're thinking, God,
I get that too.
and then I could it wasn't like, oh, come on, Jules, you'll be fine, go for it. It was them kind of messages. It was like, we'll just have a nice time, and it doesn't matter how many you do. And, so then, just had a great day, actually. I started at 7:30 in the morning, actually, I started. And I did it the other way. I wanted it to be different from my first one. So just for a change, really did it the other way. And I ran the first bit on the road on my own. But then a friend came out on her bike who knew me quite well. She was injured, so she couldn't support me, but she was on a bike at Newlands Church. And later on the next day, she said, I knew you were going to do it when I saw you at Newlands Church. I said, I'll only run 5 miles along the road. How can you say that? She said, well, I just knew because you had that look on your face. It was interesting that she said that, because I felt like I did a bit of a job on myself the day before. Psychologically, I thought, right, I've just got to put all doubts, all how ridiculously improbable this is, all that's got to go to one side for now. That can be put away, packed away, not thought about. Only thing you've got to think about is the actual eat, drink. That's only thing, 3 things. So I did manage to kind of really get myself into a mindset for it, and the last leg was so hard because it was I was late. The weather was terrible on the Dodds.
You're high all the way, aren't you, on that?
Yeah.
You do it in reverse, but say like leg 1, if you're doing it the conventional way, you're up and down, you get kind of shelter. But on leg 2, when you're going clockwise, once you're up, apart from dropping down off Fairfield to Dollywagon, I suppose, there's not much shelter, all that route. How did you decide on the extra peaks? Because you've got 30 more to do, if my math's correct. Who decides that, or you're the master?
Oh no, there's no shame about it. I just picked the easiest possible ones. I was advised a lot by Wendy Dodds on this. She told me a few sneaky easy ones. She said, and I'm like, well, can I count that? Yes, you can count that. So I kind of used her as my arbiter, really, her being on the Bob Graham committee and everything. She suggested a few easy ones that I could do, really. So just, I think I worked it out that I reckoned it added about maybe an hour 10 to an hour 20, something like that. I think it added on. It wasn't a massive, definitely not more than an hour and a half. I think it added on.
And what was the memory? 23:48. I don't know. It sounds quite stressful. Is your memory of a fun day, or were you quite anxious towards the end?
No, I wasn't anxious any of the time because I just thought it was a fun thing to have a go at. I was just tired on the Dodds, and it was cold and wet. But I really had to focus then on the nav as well, because I was with 2 supporters then, thank goodness, and one of them was a bit strung out himself, and the other was quite good on the nav, but I did know the nav. I did know it really well as well, so I was doing some nav as well at that stage. In those conditions, just slowed down and slowed down and slowed down, and I was very tired. I was very tired. It was the middle of the night. It was funny though, because I saved the best till last in terms of the support crew. So I get to Threlkeld and it's 2:30 or something, and my partner Mandy's thinking, oh God, she's late, she's late. So she thought it was my feet because the soles of the skin would start peeling off, and she thought, oh God, it must be her feet. Oh God, what's going on? Because I was so late on that, I thought that the supporters would be really downhearted and that, and she had them all in the camper van and that. But she said it wasn't like that at all. It was like they'd taken something and it just went into this they got into this big party mood, And she said, by the time you got there, it wouldn't have mattered if you could crawl, they would have got you because they were so high with it. They were so high with it. It was hard going up Holsfell Ridge in the rain and the dark and everything. But then when the dawn came, you just think, oh God, you're so close now, just keep on, But they were just we just laughed that whole. I was definitely at my limit, but they were really, really funny, and it was just laughing that kept me on going on that leg. Fell in, I told you. I fell totally in it.
Brilliant.
Just couldn't keep coordination. Everything bad that happened, the bog was terrible. Everything bad that happened, they had something funny to say about it.
Something like the bob where it brings people together, unlike a race where, I don't know, you kind of barely say a couple of words to each other sometimes, but on the bob it is this big coming together, all the recce's, all the memories, GP, teacher, scientist, and now freelance creative. When was the transition? Did everything was parallel with each other at some point, or was it a conscious shift?
No, not really, neither. I think, in a way, it's not as different as it might seem, because I think what's always driven me is a curiosity about life and about, the big questions, what's the meaning of it all and why am I here and what am I doing here anyway? And especially after I broke my pelvis and everything, I was very much struggling health-wise. And medicine had sort of burnt me out as well, really. I was tired, deeply tired and a lot in pain. I mean, I've still got chronic pain from the breaking of the pelvis. Yeah, just not in the best way. And I started to write, just not even half consciously, really. And I wrote a couple of chapters of what I thought this could be a book. It was almost sort of half, unconscious, really. I just started writing, didn't really know what I was doing. Showed that to my friend Jen Bell, who's a Fellrunner that I've run a lot with, and she's like, oh, it's got legs, this. Keep going. And so I wrote more and more and more. One thing leads to another, really. And it's taken me a while to adjust, give up medicine, because it was exacting too high a price from me, really, by that stage, even though I'd given it a lot and got a lot out of it personally. But I felt that was time that I had to stop, really. And it was hard to sort of reinvent myself, give myself another meaning in life, really. But it's just the creative stuff's kind of organically grown, really. And one of the organic and very, very, ridiculously surprising things to me was ending up doing a theatre show, ended up writing, and even more surprisingly, performing a theatre show and about Fellrunner. And again, that was a very much an organic thing. It sort of happened rather than I've had this idea and I'm going to do this. Sometimes I think things almost do themselves if you just open to stuff. Not that I didn't. I mean, I did write it and I am performing it and all this.
I do. I'm a great believer of that. If you want something, just let it out in the universe. It will, if it's meant to be, it will come to you. Can you tell us a little bit about your show? It's called the Dreamtime Fellrunner. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the show? I mean, you popped up to us because someone, I think someone in their running club, they'd all gone to see it, and were raving about it on our Facebook group, saying this is amazing. If you can get tickets, go and see it. So tell us. She's gone all rouge now.
Yeah. It's funny because I always thought, I'm an introverted person, but actually I love performing it, I must admit. And I think it wouldn't be any good if you didn't love it, really. It's about, obviously, the sort of connection of your soul to the fells and how sort of nurturing that can be. It's about running in races and competition. It's about, there's a bit about sort of classism and access stuff as well as in there, land rights. There's a feminist thread through all of it.
Good. There should be through everything.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it's very poetic. Yeah.
Is it just for runners? I'm surprised quite often we get listeners to say their partners listen to the podcast and they're not runners.
A lot of people come who were not runners, actually, or I think the connection really is about a sort of personal journey, really, and a bit what you were saying before, Eddie, a bit about how when you open yourself up to things happen to you in life. And you have experiences if you're open to them. I think what people love most about it is the words, actually, which obviously as a writer pleases me no end. They like the script. They love poetic nature of the script. And I don't sort of say I write, I sometimes do say I write poetry. I do write poetry, to be truthful, but I'm not one of these sort of poets, I don't, I'm sort of I have a aversion to inaccessible, over-intellectualized work, really, and that might sound quite opinionated, but it is my opinion. So I want to make the connection real, really, and the thing about writing things that really stirs up emotion in people, that's it's great, really. And I think people who don't run or haven't been on the fells get a flavour of what that emotional connection is, even though they maybe haven't done it. We went to a community centre in Leeds last week, or week before last. There was a lot of people there from the estate, just people who had no connection with the fells or running, and they loved it really as well, because they're transported to a world they've not been in. It's definitely a craft, and I work hard at it. But it feels there's a lot of heart in it. So there is, it is intellectual. But Joss Naylor's in it, Samuel Taylor Coleridge is in it, and John Keats, and there's also Virginia Woolf's in it. There's a poet and feminist writer called Audre Lorde, who's another sort of contemporary of Mary Oliver, although a bit different. And she was a 20th century American poet too, and she's in the racing section.
I like the sound of the racing section.
In the red lights. But yeah, there's a bit about the red line and the race and all that, and running to your limit. And Audre Lorde comes in that, and she also takes the piss out of sort of over intellectualized, inaccessible poetry. Yeah. So there's all these characters, I'm having conversations with some of them, but it's very lively as well. They all come in and out, and yeah.
And how long is it running for? I can see Harrogate in June. Is it going beyond that?
Well, I don't know yet. I would like it to, I think. But I haven't got any more tour bookings yet, largely because I haven't had the energy to organise anymore. But yeah, there's a couple. I think we've got 5 coming up this month actually, and then we haven't got any more till June. But I think I would try and get a few more around the June sort of time, just to make it that we're not just doing one then. And also I think I'd like to take it to other places, like it's only really been in Scotland and the north of England. Chester was the most southerly venue we went to, but I think there are other places who would enjoy this really. So it's hard work. I mean, Dan By, and Dan was my director, and Dan's just taught me everything about the theatre really, and he's I just knew nothing, and it's massive hard work, like from making a show from scratch. It's a graft really, and so and then going on tour, it's a graft really, yeah.
And then also running 100 miles for charity in between doing all this.
Yeah.
So from idea to fruition, opening night, what's the timescale?
Oh yeah, that's a really good question, because there wasn't an idea. Again, it was a thing that happened to me rather than I feel like I sometimes wonder this thing, I have this philosophical question about, do I actually have agency in my life or not?
I so hear you with that as well.
I mean, I believe I'm really, I'm not. I don't believe in life after death. I'm not religious in that way. I'm very sort of you got you make your own luck and all that. I'm very much with all that. But sometimes I think, well, I've got to wonder, because I just saw a little thing advert for the Theatre by the Lake in Keswick wanted people to do like 15-minute bits of just sort of scratch performance that they hadn't worked up into anything, but just sort of new stuff. So I said to my partner, I think I'll write in and do some poems. And I thought, they'll never choose me. I don't know anything. Anyway, they chose me. I thought, oh God. I said to my partner, Maddie, you'll have to direct me, because I can't just sort of stand up and do poems. It's going to have to be dramatic. She said, oh, well, my O-level drama from 1975 or whatever will come in handy, But she was amazing, good at it. How you can be with somebody all these years and not realise these hidden talents. And then it went down really, really well, and I loved doing it, which was even more of a surprise. They said, you've got to do something with this. I'm like, what do you mean? We'll have to make a show. Oh,
you're so brave, Julie. I think life, you've got what a life that you've led, and you've gone through and just taken on every challenge that has come to you. An inspiration. Wow. Inspiration to everybody listening, and to Gary and I as well. So you've got the show, you've got your incredible charity run planned. Anything for the latter end of the year?
I'm currently as well trying to get some money from Arts Council and from any commercial sponsor who wants to give money to an arts project. But we're writing another show.
Oh, look, series 2 has already been commissioned. You like Meghan Markle on Netflix?
Well,
already in the making.
The troubled second album.
I'm quite surprised to be compared to Meghan Markle. Actually.
So was I. Yeah, sorry, that's terrible. I shouldn't do that. It's only because she had her second season commissioned and already done before the terrible first one that I'm afraid I watched an episode and will never get that back in my life. I'm so sorry, everybody. I just watched it.
No, well, I think if I didn't do it now, then the momentum would fade off. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get some preliminary work done on the first show, on the new show this autumn, and then basically finish writing it. And also, I'm going to be working with some musicians that I know, some women from Cumbria who are an a cappella quartet. They're just the voice, so they're going to be doing the soundscape for it. So we're going to do some work with them and some work with Dan, and we'll do some work with. So yeah, just all the initial work really, and before we get into the detail of everything, and that we hope to get that done this year, and then do a full production of it sometime next year. I would like to do some climbing over the summer, really. Yeah, take a breath at some point.
What do you think you'd say to Julie that stood on the bridge and looked up at Skiddaw when she was 13 and said, and look where you are? You just telling us all that, I was thinking, wow, what incredible that almost your life is how you've transformed it, when often, at 13, people would think that's the direction your life is taking, and it's a completely different direction to where you came from as well.
I think what I would probably say is just trust your instincts and it'll be all right. Just have trust, really.
I think that's one of the best bits of advice. It's what my husband always says to me as well. He's like, what's your first instinct here? It's nearly always the right instinct. And if that's what feels right, that's nearly always the right thing to do.
I was reading something recently about, different cultures don't really value the intellect in the way we do, and I think that's a form of wisdom in itself, really. I think you do have to really listen to what's in your body as well, emotionally, and your instincts, and it's not all in the intellect. So just have faith in life, really. Even though sometimes it's totally rubbish.
It takes a bit of maturity sometimes just to trust yourself, doesn't it? I think sometimes, instead of being swayed and distracted. At the end of every show, we have quick 5 questions, Julie. These are the hard-hitting questions. Compose yourself.
Yeah, compose yourself, yeah.
Is there any food that you miss from the East Coast? I think these days food does travel all around the country, but I remember from my time down south, there was some things that were available but just weren't as nice as back home.
Kippers.
Oh, kippers, yes, smashed it.
Oh,
what?
Dear. It was all going so well. I was like, Julie and I, we're BFFs. I can definitely pop round for a cuppa. She's going to cook
kryptonite,
me kippers.
isn't it, fish?
She's going to cook me kippers.
Stotties for me. I can't get a decent stottie
I do
anywhere
love a
else.
stottie, yeah.
Scallop and chips. I don't know if this made it as far north as Sunderland, but where I live in this little bit of East Durham, a scallop and chips was a slice of potato. It was like a poor man's fish and chips. So a slice of potato, a little bit of cod, and then battered up just like a regular fish and chips. I used to love that. And peas pudding.
I was going to say about peas pudding, yeah. That would be, that would be my other choice, I think, yeah. Peas pudding.
Oh, tips for people who are interested in giving fell running a go.
Just give it a go, really. But,
I wouldn't expect anything else to come from your mouth then. I'd be like, she's going to tell you just to go and do it.
Yeah, what else can you say? Just give it a go. I mean, don't overthink it. Just make sure you've got a decent pair of grippy shoes, that you're not going to get hypothermia, which means looking at the fell forecast and knowing that you've got a jacket or something with you.
Don't check Keswick forecast, check Skiddaw forecast. It's drastically different.
Being a bit prepared for weather and a bit prepared for what you're going to find under your feet. Take it easy. Like, don't think I'm going to break any records running up here. Just take it easy first. Get used to it.
And it's common, if you're a road runner, you probably will be walking quite a lot of it when you're on the fells. Don't be too stressed. Don't be too stressed about
Definitely.
that. Do you have a favourite? Oh, this changes quite often for me. But do you have a favourite Lake District view?
Well, yeah, standing at the bottom of our back gate, looking up at Skiddaw, or even maybe a little bit further down, slightly down the road. And if I go for a swim in the lake, looking up at Skiddaw while from swimming in the lake.
My wife does open water swimming, and just that perspective from the water, it's completely different to anywhere I've been. I've never been open water swimming like that, but I love being up a mountain and looking down. This could be fun, Eddie. You can join in this. I've got some good old-fashioned northeast phrases or words. I'm going to say them to Eddie first, see if you can guess what they are. And Julia, you can go on afterwards. Hopefully you remember what they are. Some of them I'll just have to say what the word is, because if I put them in context, then you'll get what they are.
Okay. I love this. I love a quiz.
First one is yem. Y-E-M. What would I be talking about if I said yem?
Yem. Not a clue. Food? Some sort of food.
No. Julie, do you remember?
Well, it's when you're gan and yem, isn't it?
Gan and yem. Going home.
Yeah.
Ah, got a yem. Got a yem.
If I was to say to you, you're working your ticket or worky ticket, what would you think I was on?
I think that's enough of that, young man.
Pretty close. Yeah. Being naughty. Yeah. Pagged.
Pagged or haggard?
Pagged.
Pagged. Tired?
Julie?
Don't know.
Yeah. Pagged. Tired. Do you know what monkey's blood is?
Yeah, it's on when you go to the ice cream van and you get a corner and they put the monkey's blood on you.
Yeah.
The red sauce. For the...
Eddie's mind is blown.
It's not actual monkey's blood. It's like a raspberry sauce sort of thing that you put on ice cream.
I hope that's where we were going with that one. Otherwise, I really wasn't
Very,
coming around
very
to
nice.
yours for tea.
Oh,
Very
it's
nice.
delicious. Raji.
Oh.
Raji. Oh no, what's this, Julie? This doesn't look good. No, it's not good. Oh, is it? I hope that's a murdering sign. I wasn't sure what sign you were trying to say that.
You're in
Really
a
angry. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're in a rage.
Really angry.
Raji.
Raji. I don't know.
This one I've probably travelled all around
do
the
I?
country. Ben.
Ben. You're my Ben.
Hey.
Gary.
Oh, education tonight. We've.
I loved it.
Oh, up the eyes. Last one. Sorry. If someone was to say, "Oh, you're up the eyes," what is that?
Oh, don't know. Julie?
I know that one.
Filthy.
No?
Well, so you feel? I would say.
You're up the eyes, Gary.
But you could be like up to your eyes in something. So you could be like really busy or just filthy.
Oh,
Up to your eyes. Yeah, sorry, misread. Yeah, up to your eyes would be overworked.
Not anymore, Julie. Not now you're an Oscar-winning actress.
My mother would always be up to her eyes. But mothers always are up to their eyes.
Always are. And when you're a child, you can't understand it. You're like, what are you always doing? Mum, my kids are always like, what are you always doing, Mum? Just sit down.
Instagram. That's what it is. Talking about Instagram. Every week we share the podcast over on Instagram, and you get to choose the music we put to our Instagram story, Julie. So if there's a particular song that you'd like us to use, it's your chance. Let us know.
What now?
Yeah.
Eddie will go Disney classics. I'll go for heavy metal, or you get the choice.
Oh, well, I can't be having them. Especially the heavy metal. Well, I'm going to go for Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart, Eurythmics. Sweet Dreams.
Yes. What a song.
Brilliant.
I don't think we've ever had any Eurythmics
Never
before.
had that.
Well,
And
I don't
Julie,
know.
we've recorded hundreds of podcast episodes.
Whoa, feels like thousands.
Dave Stewart went to my school.
Did he? Oh, wow, yeah, Sunderland, yeah. Very talented guy, Dave Stewart.
Yeah.
Wow.
love that song.
Yeah,
That
I
is
love that. I love that song too. Julie, if people want to find tickets for your show, where can they go to find them?
So the best thing is go on my website, Mindfell, and it's got a little events tab, and then there's all the venues and ticket links are on that Mindfell website on the events tab.
Watch out. Sold out.
I'm not very good at the social media, but, I make an effort now and again.
Keep us up to date with everything. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We wish you all the best of break a leg at the shows and best of luck with the charity run. Anything that the Tea and Trailers can do to support, any love you need en route, any help, there will be lots of people that will want to get involved. So do pop anything on Facebook so we can also keep up to date with your progress. As ever, this podcast brings us people from all over the world, from all sorts of backgrounds. And so what a absolute honour it was to spend the last hour talking to you and hearing a tiny bit of your story. But as ever, just that little piece we had, such an inspiration. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks. Take care.
Enjoy the rest of your trip.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Bye-bye. Bye.
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 Thank you, Harrier Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales from the Trail section. Harrier is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproofs, poles and other trail essentials at www.harrierrunfree.co.uk, where you can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. Use the code T10 for 10% off site-wide and check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. My mate, actually, he must have listened to the podcast because I give the Cooper 5 litre a shout out and he was running with it on Saturday. Give it a double thumbs up. First up in the Strava Club is Vane Baker, 71.9 miles for the week. Longest run, 12.8 and 3,871 feet of vert. Consistent high volume over on Strava for Vane. 3 times 20 minutes. If I saw that workout, I don't know what the rest was, the recovery was in between it. 3 times 20 minutes, that would stress me out. I have a lot of anxiety.
I wouldn't do that now. I'm past that. That's Eddie in her 20s.
Roughly speaking, I know everyone say does a 5K at different paces, but I would literally think that was 3 times 5K, and that would be such a hard workout for me. Podiumed at a race 2. Other workouts and easy miles. Vane is looking strong. Stuart McNichol next, 60.7 miles for the week, 21.5 miles longest run and 8,842 feet of vert. Incredible Strava bars. It's like a big ramp, little bit more volume week after week. Looks like you had some fun too in the wind on Saturday like everybody else. Some spinning and some intervals. 8, 6, 4, 2 times by 2, so similar to what we always do. Strength and conditioning too. Yeah, great week, Stuart. Next up is James Moore, 61.7 miles for the week with the longest run of 21.8 and 7,953 feet of vert. Box Hill steps reps timed by 10. That sounds awful. 3,688 feet of vert. But yeah, getting it done, making use of what you've got on your doorstep. He did that after a park run too. 3 big back-to-back runs too. 1 on the South Downs. So I wonder, that's a June race, isn't it? The Centurion South Downs Way?
Yeah, or he could be doing North Downs Way is coming up before the South Downs Way. So that could be like, he could just be like, I'm just going to do these Box Hill steps until I obliterate my knees. Have you ever done the Box Hill steps, Gary?
No, I've been to Box Hill, but not when I was a runner.
They're big steps. They're big steps up. There's a lot of steps. Do you remember it's at the end of the Winter 200 and I was like climbing up them and like losing my balance going back, and I tried to count them because I think at the bottom it says how many there are. And I kept going like 1, 2, 1, 2. There's a lot of steps. I go up them once, 10 times.
10 times. That's wild.
And also the people going up, he has to keep battling.
Hi there.
Hiya. You're right. You're doing all right. A little Tales from the Trails shout out this week. A shout out, Gary. A shout out to long-term listener. Is Richard Bulmer the guy that sends us the poems occasionally?
Lovely poems, yeah.
A lovely poem. No poem this week, but he is starting out on an adventure tomorrow. So that was yesterday. So this is beginning of April. To hike, scramble all the Wainwrights in the next 3 months. I thought it'd be great to raise some money and awareness about a cracking little charity that promotes and organises getting out into the mountains as a therapeutic activity for mental health. His Just Giving is over on Facebook group and for Mind Over Mountains, and he's going to try and do all the Wainwrights in the next 3 months. That is going to be quite a spicy challenge. I guess weekends, some long adventures. Let us know how it goes, Richard.
I'm certain there'll be some tales from the trails.
Some tales, some poems. How?
Yay.
Oh, the Wainwright. It is so long. Like Donkey Kong. Oh my gosh, I don't know what.
Well, natural. I always think when people do the Wainwrights, and it's binsy, isn't it? I've said it quite a few times on the podcast. It's like, why do you have to go over there to tick that one off? It's
Hell yeah.
I think it's out the back of Bassenthwaite. It's just not a natural summit. If you're trying to do it fast, anyway, it's just an adventure. Fill your boots. We love your tales from the trails or poems. Anything goes. This section is all about you. Please email them to hello@tntrails.com and pop Tales from the Trails as the subject. Hot reviews.
We got some we got an influx. So I'm going to choose because
Go for it.
Would you like two?
I can take two.
You can take two, one for each of us. Favorite running podcast, 5 stars. Okay, here we go. I love this. This is from Rachel EB20. After listening to the very first episode on 2nd of January this year, Tea and Trails has become my companion on runs, swims, strength training, walk commutes, food prep afternoons, and drifting off to sleep. How do you drift off to sleep? Episode 113 has brought me right up to date, and I'll now need to wait a week. You will, between episodes. Despite feeling a little bit like an imposter, as I only started running a couple of years ago, age 50, and training for middle distance track running, the podcast has been so informative and inspirational, as well as thoroughly entertaining. It's made me both laugh and cry many times. So inspirational, in fact. There's a little niggle in the back of my mind that I'd like to run the Yorkshire 3 Peaks that I walked last year when I'm a bit older. Thank you, Eddie and Gary, for such a great podcast. Oh, Rachel, thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And also, absolutely, 3 Peaks next year. Do it. You've got free time now. You don't need to listen to us so much. I do love finding a new podcast I love, and then they become part of like your daily routine, and you're listening.
Yeah. And
then it is really sad. And then when you have to wait for an episode, it's not enough content. Do you want another one?
Go for it.
This one made me laugh. Found this podcast about a week ago. Gosh. Still week. How have you been doing? Looking for something to keep me motivated in my running. I'm very up and down. One day I'm loving it, the next it's all meaningless. Is he talking about his running or his podcast? I think the podcast. Anyway, I thoroughly enjoyed what I'm listening to so far, about 6 episodes, and I'm looking forward to more episodes to come over the coming months. The presenters are funny and likeable, the chat is varied and relatable, the coaching is interesting, and the interviews and interviewees are top quality. Upgrading my previous 4-star rating, Gary.
4.9 stars. So yeah, when we get a 4-star, that really damages our...
Does it? Do you care?
I don't care.
I do care. I love a review. A review. They always make me a little bit warm inside. I love it when they're funny. And I love it when we meet people out on the trails that say, hello. But I also get very embarrassed because I think, what do you know about me that I don't even know about myself? Because it goes out there. Poor Gary has to listen to it 4 or 5 times in the edit, but I just chat to you and then I forget. And people often come up and go, how is that? How is that?
Yeah. Somebody mentioned about Tales from the Trails. We need more nipple tweaking Tales from the Trails. And I remember it. It's actually a friend of mine, Adam Bridges, was doing a race. I can't remember what the race was, but he was running through a village. And there was a local...
The woman standing at the window tweaking her nipples.
Yep.
Do you think we should say you can send them in, but you don't need to put your name? Because I think everybody has those Anon Tales from the Trails. That was one of the funniest tales.
Put it in all caps, though. Goodness me, I could miss an Anon. So if you're really serious about it being anonymous, all caps, Anon.
Thank you for all your reviews. We love them. Please keep them coming in. It helps others like Tristan. He just found us, and he didn't like us to start off with, but he's upgraded. Pop over to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave us a 5, any star. We don't mind. Gary says he doesn't like it, but you got to be truthful, haven't you? We're really good with constructive criticism.
Thanks, Protein Rebel, for bringing us home. Whether you're trying to get a PB or you could be training for your first ultra, Protein Rebel's products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits. If you would like to try Protein Rebel, then use the code T15 for 15% off your first order, and Patreons can get 15% off all orders. I need to order some, actually. George is hammering my protein powder. Lisa is dipping into my collagen. I'm left with
I thought you looked.
I was glowing. It's aged me. I'm about 5 years older because of it. My nails are a mess, my hair.
Your beard.
Sad times. Sad times, Eddie. We have 2 awesome head torches from Phoenix to give away this month.
Go on, do it. Trip it off the tongue. Here we go. Which ones are they?
Gushing about the Phoenix HL 18R-T version 2.0 headlamp, and you are in with a chance of winning one. All you need to do is pop over Instagram, like this post, share the post to your stories, follow at T and Trails, and also follow at Phoenix Light UK. In the comments, tag a friend who you would love lighting up the trails.
I bet you've already tagged me in it multiple times.
To be clear, though, the person who you tag in isn't going to win a head torch. So, yeah.
So you're just using them. You were just using them.
We're just encouraging them to post it themselves and share the story, and then tag a friend. The competition grows. This competition closes at midnight on the 30th of April 2025. This competition is for Instagram only. 2 winners will be contacted by direct message, and it's for UK residents only. What have you got coming up?
No 5-hour run, Gary. No 5-hour run. No, it's so nice when you have something at the end of the week to look forward to and you're going to see friends and stuff. Not this week. Do you know what I have to look forward to? Easter holidays. Oh, holy smoke.
Do you still do an Easter hunt?
Yeah, but Bryn would be very upset if the Easter bunny didn't go. I put the whole outfit on, jump around the garden.
Is that for when the kids are gone to bed?
Late night Easter. Yeah, of course. Full Easter here. Workouts will happen. 2 workouts. I'm going to do the same sort of vibe as last week. I won't get 5-hour run in. Hopefully we'll get a long run in over the weekend while we enjoy such sunny weather, which for me means I'll open the back door and say, go outside at 10, come back in at 4. See you then. There's the ham and cheese and the bread. Help yourself. Go wild.
I love this time of year. I've opened the patio door. It won't close until tea time.
It's beautiful, isn't it? As we've been recording, there has been a hare bouncing around my garden, Gary. That is not the wisest place to bounce, I would say. Easter Bunny is making an early visit. I know, spring is lovely. So, yeah, we'll just do it. Just a steady week, Gary. Nothing special. I've got a busy week because I've got half my roster of my coaching athletes competing in a variation of one of the Northern Traverse races. All our pre-race phone calls have gone. Well, look at the weather. Well, it's not going to be as hard as when I did it, is it? Look at this. Look at this weather. They are going to be blessed. But we've also been talking about the potential imbalance of electrolytes and the fact skin's not seeing the sun. And suddenly...
Different challenge, isn't it? Different challenge.
Very different challenge. So, yeah, just different challenges. So I'm looking forward to that weekend. Everybody, not just my athletes, but they are going to have such a great trail, especially the bit over the lakes, and they're actually going to be able to see this year. They're going to be able to open their eyes.
Oh, what a treat. What a treat it's going to be.
I'm a little bit jealous, and I'm also thinking this time next year, you'll be there on the start line.
Me and you, toe to toe.
Toe to toe. Well, just the first bit. I'll probably I'll jog with you like round, and then the minute we turn, I'll just drop you. I'll just go into zone 1 because I'll just literally won't even be... What about you?
Ooh, we've got an Old County Tops.
Is it a month
recce
now to Old County Tops? Is it beginning of May, Old County Tops?
I think it's like the 18th, 17th
Okay.
of May.
Oh, you've got a little while. Okay.
7 weeks. So I'm interested. Yes, I've ordered this heat sensor.
Did you get the 1 or the 2?
Yeah, just the 1, yeah. I was just money conscious. It was quite a lot cheaper with the discount. I think the 2 is about 220. With the 1, it's already discounted because they've got the 2 coming out, and then with the Patreon and the core discount too that they've given us. Yeah, saved quite a bit of money. So happy with that. But I'm curious, yes, maybe it's a little bit too close to Old County Tops to introduce it.
No, I think it's. I mean, you don't want to do the like the every day for 10 days. That's no, you need to be, that ship has sailed a little bit.
Well, also that'll really smash up London, even though I'm not racing London. It's very, very close to London. But what I'm hoping for all company tops, maybe, I don't think I will be a heat champion. So I won't have got that kind of adaptation physiology going on. But I might be more acclimatized or more comfortable in a hot race, if it's a hot day. So nothing to lose, as long as I don't overdo it. But the recce is Scafell Pike, Old Man of Coniston, starting in the Langdales. So the tiny bit of 13 valleys, basically the Langdales until Angleton. And I just love the knowledge now of all these races, all the time on the fells. We've done All County Tops 4 times now, and then just thrown in the 13 Valleys knowledge. It's like we can make a lovely circular route out of that now. Because when we've done Scafell in the past, or even Old Man of Coniston, it's been a bit of a faff as far as recce's concerned. So yeah, really looking forward to that. The weather is looking sensational. I'll be doing lots of heat training, reading too. I think I've downloaded 5 articles. Yes, I'll be fully absorbing myself in that. And yeah, good luck. Like you said, good luck to all the Northern Traverse runners. The forecast is looking kinder than last year. I've checked the forecast though. Saturday and Sunday, it's an easterly breeze, so they will have a little gentle headwind.
Well, I just run behind you. and just let you.
If you're hot, a little gentle head breeze is great.
I think on that distance, it depends how gentle is gentle. To me, it looks like pretty much inconsequential, the wind at the top.
Yeah, you know what? I've only checked, like, say, Patterdale and Keswick. Kidsty Pike, a little bit different up the top there. Either way, it's going to be sensational.
If you're listening while you're running, you've got this. Keep going, one step in front of the other. Breathe and believe. Breathe and believe. All else fails. Spotify top 100 musical hits. You can't go wrong. Thanks for tuning in. We love you. Thanks for listening. Share this episode. Share the pod. Share the love. Pop over to Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. Subscribe or even consider becoming one of our awesome patrons. Thanks to X Miles, Precision Fuel Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running, Protein Rebel and Shocks for sponsoring this week's show. Remember those discount codes: T15 2025 for Shocks, T15 for Protein Rebel, T Trails 10 for X Miles, T Time 2025 for Precision Fuel Hydration and T10 for Harrier Trail Running. Thanks to our partners and patrons too. We couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support. Also, thank you to Bryn for the hive and pizza activity on Saturday night. I said, how bad was that in like post-race, post-like long run things that's happened? He said it doesn't even touch the sides, frankly, that was nothing.
He continues to be a legend though. Let the trails rise to meet you and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self. Breathe and believe, and progress, not perfection. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was episode 115 of the Tea and Trails podcast.